Hi, I'm Anthony,
And hi, I'm Nathan.
and our topic is the effects on climate change due to tourism, and the type of activity is skiing and snowboarding trips. Nathan, what do you know about climate change?
I'm afraid not very much.
Okay, then I'll actually explain to you some positive and negative effects today.
Great, looking forward to it.
In this photograph, we noticed a lack of snow on the mountain, almost like there was nothing.
Well, now that we arrived at Cypress Mountain, home of one of the best local skiing and snowboarding resorts in all of Vancouver. Pretty cool mountain, don't you say?
It is, yes.
On our way, we actually noticed this waterfall as well.
Yeah, that's possibly due to the snow melting.
So, are there any negative effects on skiing and snowboarding trips?
Well, of course there are. Let me start off with this next picture over here. The amount of vehicles traveling to the ski resorts emit tons of carbon emissions. Just look at the amount of cars parked outside the lodge. What if everyone carpooled instead of driving individually? That may limit the amount of fuel burned from the long drives.
That's very interesting. How about the ski resort itself?
Well, the lodge accommodates a lot of people every day, which contributes to human waste and increase of garbage waste as well.
Can you give me an example of one, Anthony?
Sure, Nathan. Here's a picture of the restaurant that uses fuel to cook food for the skiers and snowboarders. The more people that dine at the restaurant, the more fuel that is consumed, leading to increases of waste and garbage and so on.
What about electricity in the lodge?
Well, electricity is on for the entire time that the lodge is operating. This means a huge amount of electricity being consumed through the light and appliances.
Very interesting.
Here, take a look at this clip of the energy-consuming appliances in the cafeteria that runs, regardless of who uses it. You see pop machines, cafeteria lights, and you have people cooking behind the shelves.
What about outside the lodge?
Well, we did talk about vehicle emissions along the way to the resort, but emissions are also emitted through tractors to manage the snow and the lodge. They also do use snowmobiles in this next picture I'll show you, but with the limited amount of snow from the climate change, as you can see on the ground, it's very hard to do so. Next picture I'll show you are all the vehicles needed to maintain the mountain and the lodge. A lot of them, don't you think?
Yeah, I guess I understand why there's so many carbon emissions now that run at the resort. I've also noticed the chairlifts are always running. Do these play a role in consuming wasteful energy as well?
It does. It actually consumes a lot of energy, even though not everyone occupies each chair. This next clip will be what I mentioned. As you can see, it's continuously running, and only every few chairs are occupied with skiers or snowboarders.
Great insight, Anthony. How about group trips? Do they affect climate change as well?
Of course, Nathan, you see this bus? It's such a big engine that it burns lots of fuel even though it carries a lot of people. And what do buses emit, Nathan?
Carbon emissions.
Look at all these kids on their field trip.
Oh, right. They contribute to human waste and increased garbage like you mentioned earlier.
And this patch of snow over here?
Yeah, it looks pretty bad.
Yeah, this is the result of the impact of skis and snowboards that can continue to run over this particular land, which damages the environment. And these trees are isolated and possibly could be cut down to expand the ski and snowboard slopes.
Wow, that's horrible.
Yeah, and trees actually give out carbon dioxide, which us humans need.
Oh yeah, Joe Kelly taught us that in class.
I see.
Well, what about the good stuff? Are there any positive effects on climate change?
There are, Nathan. In these next couple of pictures, I'll show you what the positive effects are.
Awesome.
This next one for the picture actually shows the resort trying to minimize its waste and improper garbage disposals by sorting the garbage, recycling, and compost into their own bins.
Oh wow, no wonder I see them all over the ski resort at Cypress.
Yeah, they're definitely doing their part in being green. So, the washroom, they have water taps, automated to minimize water usage so it won't accidentally be on the entire time.
And where are the paper towels?
Instead of paper towels, they also use drying machines to limit the amount of garbage. More garbage means more waste, which is bad for the environment. So, from the things I've explained to you today, what have you learned?
Well, I've learned that a simple ski and snowboarding trip up to a mountain can actually cause a lot of negative effects on tourism from a climate perspective. Take, for example, the carbon emissions that are emitted from going there, as well as from all the work vehicles required to maintain the resort. I've also learned of the increase of garbage and human waste due to the overpopulation of skiers and snowboarders up at Cyprus. This also translates to the continuous fuel burning from the restaurant and electricity required to power the lodge itself to accommodate for the vast number of skiers and snowboarders. These elements contribute to climate change because it affects the air that we breathe and contributes to an overall rise in global temperature known as global warming. If global temperatures continue to rise, there may be no snow left for us to ski or snowboard in, and we may have to resort to fake snow from the snowbirds you see in this clip. However, there are still many positive effects that tourism is having on climate change. Resorts like Cyprus are attempting to do their part in minimizing impacts such as having separated bins for garbage to reduce organic waste, switching to hand dryers instead of paper towels, and having automated water taps to reduce water wastage.
Wow, you've retained a lot of information today, Nathan.
Yeah, I did. Thanks for the great insight, Anthony. I'll definitely keep these factors in mind to do my part in minimizing my impact on climate change in the future.